What's going on, everyone? So let's take a look at LKCO stock, otherwise known as Luokung Technologies. And the market is closed right now when I'm filming this. And I wanted to wait off till I see the market close to see the price, and it's currently at $1.83. Now, I do think the price could continue to drop a little bit, and I'll go into detail in just a second. But just remember, this video is for entertainment purposes only. This is not financial advice. Be sure to do your research before making any investments. But right now, we can see that we did have it reaching higher highs, and then all of a sudden, people started to take profits and sell off. And now I do see some support around the $1.64 give or take range. And if you were to look at the 1 hour charts and you have the 50 EMA, it could potentially keep dropping down. And if it were to touch the 50 EMA and also our support levels around this area, we could see it bounce off of that point and continue to trend upwards, or we could see it break out and continue lower. But again, you just have to wait until the weekend opens up, see how the market's doing. But I mean, we're just looking at this current price, and let's just assume it were to drop down to the support level, touch the 50 EMA. I mean, we'll see, maybe 8% give or take drop. Now, if it were to continue lower, then obviously that could just be based off of people's view on LKCO. And obviously the current price point, when it did decide to raise up, there was a lot of big news that was released recently. So do keep that in mind. That might have been a possible indicator of why it did increase so high. But we can see this percent gain. I mean, looking at 70 cents, that's about 200+% gain. Now, beforehand, LKCO, if you guys are just brand new, wasn't being traded on every exchange that you could easily access. Just recently, within this time frame, they added on Webull and all these other exchanges that make it much easier for people to actually trade. So that could be a possible factor why it did increase so quickly. So short term, we might be able to see it maintain its range above this $1+%, maybe even above 120 give or take, and hold that. Or we could see it drop depending on the news. But there's one thing, just to be clear before I keep going and showing you guys updates, is there is still the possibility of it being delisted before or potentially by May 8th, right? So again, that is a huge thing to factor in. Yes, there's amazing news about the company. The stuff that they're working on seems legit and very potentially bullish, I'd say, for the future. But if this were to actually go down, then the price is most likely going to translate over that people are going to sell off. So just be aware that this is a super risky play, but also there is I'll say the other 50% where if it doesn't get delisted and they accept it, then guess what? I would assume, I'm just speculating that this price could take off. But again, we'll have to wait. But this is just my sort of quick look at the actual price. And also the RSI doesn't indicate that it's oversold yet. So we could continue to see it drop a little bit, slightly, maybe 8% give or take, or even more. But then I could see people buying it in because there is definitely a lot more demand I see in this current LKCO stock. But now let's just take a look at some news. We'll see what's going on. So here I just brought up, this is NASDAQ, and I already made some updates already about the major news and partnerships. So I'm not going to go over that again. But for instance, the EMAP Go that they have recently announced, basically you can see here that this talks more details about what's the big deal about this. And they state here that EMAP Go, they hold approximately 24% of the Chinese auto market share and of dash navigation, right? So this gives the company a strong position in the sector. So in terms of the actual knowledge, the data that they're going to be receiving from this acquisition, I mean, that's going to be a big deal. And then also it says the combination of Luokung's spatial temporal capabilities with EMAP Go's data gives the company a core competitive advantage in autonomous driving. Now, this is one post on Reddit that was really interesting that I want to share with you guys. But check this out. So here I'm on Reddit, and feel free to guys look up the Reddit group. And again, if you guys didn't know, the EMAP Go, they actually got that. And then basically there's this one post that I want to share with you guys that I thought was really, really interesting that people might not even consider, but this is cool. So I wish you would have posted a link to this actual article, but this person posted right here. I mean, you could just say pretend Tesla were to have to, utilize this. And then this source says that based off this post, I don't know this link, maybe they have it down here. I mean, I could probably just check it in a second. But basically, they state that this little circle he has here, that the Chinese military has banned Tesla cars from entering its complexes, citing that the security concerns over the cameras installed on the vehicle. So, I mean, this makes sense, right? Obviously, you can't have surveillance of, information, confidential information, especially for military and across borders. So obviously a U.S. company that has cameras on their car probably would not be allowed to go into, for instance, a Chinese military base, or let alone any area in China that has confidential information or stuff that shouldn't be seen. So this guy he's just saying, speculating, right? Again, this is probably not gonna happen, but let's just think maybe for another Chinese EV company, maybe that's something a big deal. But he states here, like, imagine Tesla would have to, utilize Luokung's technology for its actual EV cars. I think that's probably not going to happen just because it's Elon Musk. He's in the U.S. There'll be so much headache in terms of dealing with that versus the U.S. and saying, like, hey, you have this inside your Teslas, et cetera, et cetera. But maybe a Chinese company, a big one. There's big ones like NIO, XPeng, LI Auto, et cetera, that they were to pair up with this. Or I know they have another article stating that, for instance, but there's this one company that someone linked in Reddit that apparently it says China's Geely to launch a premium EV brand. So definitely let me know in the comments below if there's any ties with LKCO in terms of that. I didn't see anything currently in this article mentioning them, but feel free to comment below. But that could be a potential catalyst for that too. So in just short term, I mean, if it does not get delisted, right, which is the biggest thing we have to wait for. If it does not get delisted, the government is like, hey, look, we were wrong. We're going to remove this banning. Then guess what? LKCO could go crazy, right? Now, if it were to get delisted, guess what? Then I see the price just tanking, and just it's probably not going to look good for them, right? But short term, you can swing trade this and see what happens. But we'll have to wait and see. It depends on any updates as well, because this was a big part of the major news that happened. So unless something were to occur within this next month plus time range, so if we let's measure this around like May 8th, right? It doesn't even go that far in this time frame, so maybe I'll switch it to like 4 hours. And let's just pretend by around, let's just say May, to make it life easier. Within this time frame, we could see something happen news-wise, partnership-wise, before it gets delisted that could cause it to reach all-time highs. Then that would be exciting to see. But again, we already saw some major news recently, so I don't know if there's anything in the pipeline right now that's going to happen. But do feel free to comment down below if you did find anything that none of us have seen yet that could give us some more, say, bullish signs in the next basically month-ish, give or take. And then if you do see any more updates, and obviously if I see any updates regarding the delisting and if it's removed or not, I'll probably make that video too. But we'll have to wait and see essentially this month and a half, give or take 2 months time frame is definitely something to keep your eye on. So we'll have to wait and see. But do definitely know your price predictions about LKCO in the comments below. And be sure to hit that subscribe button, guys, if you are new to the channel, to see more updates on the market. I'm posting every single day. So definitely hit that subscribe button. And aside from that, if you made it this far in the video and you want to get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,850, then be sure to click the first link in the description below. Sign up for an account, and as long as you deposit a minimum of $100 or more, you'll be able to receive 2 free stocks valued up to potentially $1,850. And aside from that, guys, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, like the video, comment down below your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one.